How's brewing, everyone? Coffee Bean. And guys, I cannot tell you how much I want to get back to live commentary, but every time I sit down to edit videos, I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh on the side. And those are when I have some of my best duels. And before I even say anything else, I'm just gonna say, I was just goofing off. I picked a random deck that I made, and I'll let the video speak for itself, for the most part. So I made a deck kind of as a joke using World Chalice and Mech Knights. It's not that it's a bad deck or anything, it works fairly well, but I just don't think I use Link monsters in the most efficient way possible, especially with some of the combos that you can do with them. And I made this deck kind of to help me learn to branch out a bit more and to use different effects and such. And of course, in me just trying to casually play while I make another video, I end up going against Branded. So I'm like, okay, this fight's pretty much lost. I almost surrendered, right there, because I was like, okay, this usually burns me, and then I just die. But it's while you control this fusion summon card, your opponent must pay 600 life points to activate cards or effects. That's important. So I activate my card effect because it's on the field. I pay my 600 there, get out a Link monster. I can fast forward this a bit, but it's only at the actual activating of them on the field. So I activated a Mech Knight to move a card over so I could special summon another Mech Knight. I use Underworld Goddess to get rid of his Despia. I think that's what it is, yeah. And I can keep using her effect to cancel its effect in the graveyard. Or Masquerada. I said Despia. Masquerade. Yeah. So I can keep using that to cancel out effects. And I can continue to put cards back on, well, not back onto the field, but I can keep drawing without having to worry about them getting more cards on the field than I can really deal with. So we get back into their turn, and I go, okay, I've made my play. I've kind of, shown them that I know semi what I'm doing, but for the most part, it's pretty much over. And then we get to watch a bit of the Branded Fusion show. So Branded Fusion hits the field, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't really know if I can stand against this. I feel like they had more options to get out of this, but we'll have to look at their deck after this, because as it was going on, I was looking at it and going, I know they have an out for this, because to get rid of Goddess, you just have to target it. But maybe they don't. Yeah, a lot of what I could see, they had nothing that specifically targeted my card on the field. Otherwise, I would have lost. Everything that they had was kind of revolved around having their monster sent to the grave, or destroying one of my cards, or just anything except for actually targeting my monster to destroy it. So he has to crash, so neither of us take damage there. Punches me for 5,000. I'm pretty sure he could have switched this into attack and he would have been fine. No, for the rest of this turn, this card cannot attack, but did he use that effect? No, yeah, he can't attack with it. Okay. So I was looking at that going, okay, that's weird. I get 3 cards out onto the field. I bring out Nightmare Unicorn. And you would think that, oh, you just kind of threw the game there because you can't punch over anything. But with World Chalice Guardian Dragon, I can special summon a normal monster out. I think he thought that Soul Drain would lock me out of getting my monster back onto the field. But I think that was a missed timing. That's what I want to say. He uses Branded in red, gets more monsters out on his field, and I'm going, oh, okay, now he's gonna pop one of my cards. Like, surely it's bound to happen. That's Despian. Um, and Despian is target one fusion, synchro, X-Wise, or link monster in your opponent's graveyard. Banish it or special summon it. I was like, okay. That does something, but Underworld Goddess really isn't all that useful after you've already used her original effect to tribute one of your opponent's monsters. Past that point, yes, the fact that it can't be targeted, or it can only be targeted, is kind of useful, but it's not that great. It's got decent attack, but nothing we can't punch over. So I just go ahead, do a simple link summon combo into Mech Knight Crusadia, and yeah, because he can't actually target me for anything. And if he could, this card cannot, you can't target this card. So even if he had an out to not target this, I guess he just never pulled it. I don't even know like what he was thinking. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target one face up monster. And that's where I got lost, because I was like, okay, wait, this was on the field and this can be targeted, but he didn't bring Predaplant out. I think he could have. I could be wrong, but I'll have to look, because I'm pretty sure you could have brought Predaplant out and have targeted this and have cleared it off the field, but he didn't. And then he brings it out now to try to target Mech Knight, but he can't because it can't be targeted. And so I was like, oh, okay. And now I understand when people talk about them. Okay, see, he did hit a time limit though. But when people talk about certain metas and how people just can't, some people can't move out of playing the meta, like they're just stuck, because he could have added a lot of different cards into either his extra deck or, you know, just his regular deck alone that would have outed me in this duel. In the extra deck, I think it's good to always have some pretty high level links. Access Code is a really good one if you get a lot of monsters out onto the field. Cerberus and Nightmare Phoenix, those are good for both back row and monster removal. I use Nightmare Unicorn to bounce things back to the hand. There are a lot of different outs if you really want them. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Really is meant to be your own thing, you know? I was playing this deck, I made this deck, and it was kind of just like, you know, a joke, but it turned out beating, you know, a meta deck. So it just goes to show that, you know, you don't have to be using the very best of, you know, the very best kit to win. But if you build a kit that you know in and out, you can best a lot of people. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just thought it was cool to see a deck that really, you know, it's not a bad deck. It's not really high tier as far as I know. It might actually be a higher tier than I think it is. But the way I built it, it definitely wasn't meant to be this good. But yeah, we ended up outing something that should have been pretty difficult, at least time-wise. I think given a few more minutes, he might have beaten me. But the fact that it took him so long to think of an out for Underworld Goddess absolutely, like, startled me. That's where most of his time went, is he was sitting there trying to think of how to get over that one card. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will catch you next time.